Welcome to the Chelt Show, folks. Today we're changing the final drive, the oil in the drives on a E26, 2014 E26 Bobcat. I bought this machine. It's got 1,850 hours on it, and the gear oil is, I checked it before I bought it. It was full, but it is black as black can be. It looks like it's been in a diesel truck for 20 years. And it's thick and it's just nasty, so I'm gonna go ahead and change it. And I couldn't find anything on YouTube, a video or really much information about it, so I figured I'd go ahead and make one. And this is how I do it, and hopefully it's right, so stay tuned. So what I've done is I've taken a Rotella bottle, a jug, and I've cut the corner of it out a little bit lower so it fits perfectly right here. I keep these things around the shop because they're handy for when you're working on a motorcycle, lawnmower, anything that's real low to the ground. You can just cut one of these up and make an awesome oil pan. And they're disposable. I clean them out, I discard the oil, and then I clean them out and throw them away if I need be, or I just pile them up somewhere. As you can see, I still got some piled up underneath there. It calls for 90 weight in the drive. I couldn't find it, looked all over town. I got 80-90 weight. It'll be a little thinner when it warms up, but it's an older machine. I also got a hand pump to transfer it in. This is a fairly simple thing, so I feel like it's something that I'll do. It doesn't bother me to do quite often, so I ain't too awful worried about it, but I know that it needs to be replaced now. So let's get this drained out. I'm gonna get them cracked open at least. This is an 8mm hex head, Allen key, Allen wrench, what have you. And that is not good. That is about to strip out, so we might throw a little bit of heat to that one. Give it a good pet. Maybe jar it loose. If this don't work, I'll fire up the heat, I guess. I guess we're gonna throw some heat to that bad boy. Of course, nothing's gonna go as well as planned, so. Although it's a cutting torch, I got the gas turned way down. I'm just trying to heat it up enough to help the threads break loose. Being careful not to heat it up too much. Just try to get that bolt to break loose. Funny is both of these was taken out when I bought it. And this one's already seized up by that. So let's see if a little heat will persuade it out. Probably cause it to strip even more, yeah? Yep. It's definitely warming up in there. Let me go shut this gas off. Alright, back in action. So, back to what we was doing. Put this back underneath there. And take that busted, stripped up Allen bolt out. Which I'm sure will be good and, cold. Set that up there in the dirt. About drops that one. Neither one of these has got magnets on it, which honestly kind of blows my mind. But looking at it in the light, I don't see any sparkles in it per se. I know there's a little bit of gray in that, but I wish I could tell if there was chunks of metal in it. Would tell me a lot, but there's definitely a little bit of metal shavings in it, but it's a final drive. It's a gear drive. I mean, I'm not really sure wouldn't expect anything less from it. Both of these should have an O-ring on the inside, right on the inside of the cap. It's actually built into the cap. I'll show you in just a second. Let me get this cleaned up. So right in here, you can see that black O-ring right there. I would inspect both of those, or I will. If I was you, I'd inspect both of those and make sure they're in good shape, not busted, frayed, anything of that nature. If there's a cut in it, go ahead and replace it. I think on the other side it popped out, so it looks like it was just a regular O-ring. Neither one of these was leaking. So it should be pretty easy thing to replace. Just get a little O-ring kit or something. So we're gonna let that drain down. So now it's about done draining. I'm just gonna clean all this up best I can and get it ready. So I'm not 100% sure, but I know that when you, so I can give you an example right here. I thought that you would put the cap back in the bottom and then fill it back up until it flows out of here. Some drives have one here, here, and here, middle one, or one would be here, here, and here, or here and here. And if it's on each end, I'm sorry, it wouldn't have the one in the middle. It would have one here and here. You make them straight up and down, 90-degree angle. Rotate the drive around till this one's level and this one's straight up and down. That one, you would take it out and fill here until it starts flowing out. But as you can see, it won't. My little nozzle here is plenty smaller than the hole, and it barely goes in there, maybe 1/4 of an inch. Even if you pump it slowly, it just flows back out of this top hole. So what I did on the other side was I fired up the excavator and I rotated the track to where this drain hole was facing up. So that's what I'm gonna do again. So I put the cap in it just to keep it from dripping, and I'm gonna fire it up and move forward. And just like that. Now as I fill on this side, now I can use this as somewhere to put the stuff. Now if it takes the oil on this side, the gear oil, it'll actually take it. It's a bigger hole. It goes in there farther. Clean everything up. And now, I don't know if y'all can see, I had this up here for y'all. Simply put this in there, put it at kind of an angle, and start pumping till it gets filled, until it starts flowing back out of this bottom middle hole. Alright, so right there you see it coming out. I did pull out the owner's manual, looked at it. It says to fill it through this hole. And maybe I'm wrong by doing it this way, but every time I try to fill it through this hole, it just comes back out. There's a little tiny hole directly in the center, and there's a hole right there. And I think there's a hole on the other side. And every time I pump it, no matter how slow I go, it just comes back out that hole. So I'm going to end up with a bunch of clean oil all over the ground and not getting anywhere. So while I'm filling right here, as you can see, every single little pump I do, it starts flowing out, even if I do a half pump. Like I said, down in that, let's see, down inside there, right there at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, there is a little hole. And while I'm pumping, before it gets full, if you pump too fast, it flows around that hole and will actually come out. But as you see, it's just coming out now. It's a solid line. That little tiny hole is full of oil. Every time I pump it, of course, oil comes back out. But like I said, the owner's manual did say that you put this one on the bottom, and then you pull this one, and the oil should be right there at the bottom of that plug. Well, when I do that, I can check it that way, but after I drain out of the bottom and I start filling here, it just runs out. So lift the machine up, flip holes. It's still at the center. So what I'm going to do is throw the cap back on there, snug it down, leave it nice and nasty. I like it nasty. Snug this one down. Not too tight. And then I'm going to give it a love pump. Just like that. So I did the other side. I don't think a 1/4 of an ounce of oil extra is going to be detrimental to the drive. I don't see what that would hurt. It could heat up and then expand and blow seals out or something. I guess I've been doing that all my life and it's never failed me yet. So yeah, now it's full. I'm gonna go back and check the other side and make sure that's what we got. And that's how I changed the final drive oil in an E26 2014 E26 Bobcat. So thanks for watching Jelton Show, folks. God bless.